Attended the last one. That's great. Yeah, I think Dushyant, who's attended the last session, he can confirm that like offline events are like have a different vibe and energy to it. Because here we're just sitting in front of computer screens. Offline is much, yeah, exactly. Hold up, I'm just checking for live stream. Exam preparation was going on at the time. No worries. Okay.
Yep.
Suraj has posted the link for the YouTube live stream and attendance. So make sure you mark your attendance. And also, if you have any friends, and share the live stream link. The message is now pinned. Please mark your attendance. Don't forget. That's how we will be able to keep track of you for any further processing. Are we good to go, Suraj? Are we good to go with the code of conduct?
Yep. Now we can go with the series.
All right. I call upon Kriti. Kriti, if you're here, please to
Hello,
present code of conduct. Hi. Take it
hello.
away.
Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
So here we are with the next event of GDSC, and I welcome everyone here. And code of conduct, do's and don'ts. So the first code of conduct is be nice, respectful, and constructive while interacting on the Wavy virtual or YouTube live chat or social media. And second code of conduct is do not post anything if any adult content, rude or offensive statements. Third code of conduct, do not advertise or promote anything. Fourth point, do not spam or post same thing again and again. Fifth, harassment of any kind is not tolerated in this event, or if you fail to follow the code of conduct, you will be blocked from interacting on the chat. And sixth one is report to GDSC at the rate lpu.co.in if you find anything inappropriate in this event. Introduction.
Yep. Uh, Raman, you can take over from here. You can present your slides and you can proceed. Raman, you are not audible, I guess.
Hello.
Yeah, no audible.
Yeah, I'm audible now and clearly visible. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, a little bit. You can present your slide, or should I present?
Okay, I will
Because it
present
will be
it.
easy for you. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, I will present it. So can I stop the camera just because internet is not stable?
Yep. Yep. For sure.
So is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you for confirming. So, how are you all? First of all, let me see how many of you are interested for this HTML and starting your journey as a web developer. Yeah, that's great. So let's begin with the session here. So first of all, let's see web development. So how many of you know about the web development? That's great. So can anybody tell what is web development about? Don't worry if you don't know. I will explain you all from basics to advanced. So we are starting with HTML. So before starting with HTML, we must know what is web development first. So as you can see here, so first of all, web development is just work involved in creating a website. So we create a website in the web. If we are creating any website or creating any web server, so that is just a web development because it is related to the web. So we are developing something for a web. So that means this comes under the web development. So it has many ranges, like we create many websites like dynamic websites, some complex websites are there, some simple websites we also create. So simple websites like you can see that like there is a someone portfolio website made with HTML and CSS only. And complex websites you can see like that there is a YouTube and then there is a Google search engine. So these are some complex websites. Need some server. This run on the backend. Like when we send the request to any website, we want, you can see that. Let's take the example of e-commerce website. So in the e-commerce website, we are searching there something like we want this T-shirt. When we search this T-shirt, search it on the search engine, and then we press on the search icon, then it send the and server will request the give the page as a response that that it will be visible to us, like these t-shirts are there available, so we can order any type of t-shirt from there. So this type of websites are complex applications, or we can say that dynamic applications. Now, there are many tasks that we can do in the web development, such as we can do web engineering, we can do web design, we can do client server side scripting, we can do e-commerce development, as well as we can create the web servers and networks come in the web development. So now let's move forward here. So first of all, we know that now what is a web development. So now here terms comes the web. We should also know about that. So what is a website? So can anybody tell what is a website? Yeah. So anyone? Okay. Let me explain that. So website is nothing. It is just a collection. So we create the web page with the help of languages such as HTML, CSS, and then the collection of these pages create a website. So this is a platform. You can say that this is a platform that connect us with the internet. So you can see right now here, this is a website. So where you have joined here to attend this event. So this is also a website. But this is a little complex website and dynamic website because it contains logging, and it contains like getting registering for the event, and it contains video and audio sharing as well. So this is an example of complex website. So now website is that which can be found on World Wide Web. So you can say that it is found on the World Wide Web and on the internet. And it is also audience as a buyer. So as you can see the example of e-commerce website. So take the example of Amazon. In the Amazon, like if we want to create our Amazon store, so there we can create our Amazon store and people search on Amazon and also our items come there. Then people select from those items. So they become buyer for us. So that's why websites are also good for that. And it can be for whole individual and can be for whole group. So for the individual, you can take the example of portfolio website. For the whole group, you can take the example of this community website. Now, here the terms come the web page. So in order to create a website, we must understand the web page. So what is a page? So here it is. So web page is the view that means you view here on the, like here you are seeing this web page here. So this is all a web page. Like it is returning us one view. So this means that this one is a web page and the collection of these type of web pages is the website. So you can say also say that it is a UI where the user interact on the web, and it is also a front end hypertext document. So you can this hypertext document when we will start the HTML. So because HTML is also a hypertext document, and it is used for the structure to create the structure of that, and it is using language. So that we will do in other slides here. So this is the most important thing. Like this web page consists of, it may contain text, it may contain videos, it may contain images, as well as it can contain graphics as well. There are many 3D graphics in the websites. So web page may consist of these, and consisting of these things made a web page. Collection of web page is a website. So now there are two types of website. One is static website and second is dynamic website. As I have already explained, like there is a static website and dynamic and complex websites. Static websites like website made with HTML and CSS, JS just only, like a portfolio website. And there can be a dynamic websites like e-commerce website and this website in which you are attending the event, and Google is also an example of dynamic website. So now how we can create a website? So basically website is written in mainly three languages, that is HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So first of all, in order to start with the basics, you should know first these three things: HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So we will start with the HTML first, and then we will go for the CSS, and in this event we will just go for the HTML.
Sorry for interrupting, Raman. Can you do slideshow? Like, click on slideshow and open that tab on new tab so that you can switch in between the portal and presentation.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Is it visible?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. So in order to know what HTML, like why we need HTML, so first of all we have to understand about the web, how web works. We need to understand about request response cycle of the browser, like how browser under uh, this HTML page. So here how the web works. So take an example here. So when address on bar on the browser, then it send that address. It makes, first of all, make the HTTP request to the server. So HTTP is the protocol here. So that is hypertext transfer protocol. So first of all, it make that request, and then it send that request to the server of that website. So in which we have added the address here. So like example, there is www.google.com or www.turing.com. So then that create the HTTP request first, and then it's sent to the www.google.com first, and then it goes to the internet service provider, and then internet service provider will liquidate for the server, like it will address of the server, and then it will go to the server. By seeing that HTTP request, and according to that HTTP request, the server will generate the response, and that response then goes to our ISP back, internet service provider, and then to the browser. So browser will give us the web page, because this browser understands the things only in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And it create a document object model first, and that will be the hierarchical. So you can see the example here. Let me share the tab. Is this visible?
Yeah, it is visible. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So here when I'm typing here www.google.com, so here it is google.com, and here you can see that we have this Google web page. But whenever you will inspect this, so you will open the developer tools, and then you will go here. So you see that we have bunch of HTML elements here, and we can select the element, like when we are selecting this Google image here, and now we can see this element. So how we are getting this selected? So just this is because of the DOM element, so document object model. So this is a hierarchical structure. So you can see that we have, first of all, HTML here at the top, and we will learn this structure when we will start with the HTML. So first of all, you should know about this, and then it converts the means get all the CSS, and then it converts means that CSS also, add that CSS also, and then we have some JavaScript also. So you can see that here is we will be having script tag, and here we have some script files, and we have the source here. So you can see all the sources from here. So that's why we need the HTML, and HTML is a very basic language to start with the web development. Now we can start with the HTML. So can anybody tell about the HTML, and anybody know its full? DevTool is not visible.
I think Raman, you have shared a screen, full screen mode or program tab.
I'm sharing the tab here.
Yeah, that's right. Just share full screen mode in that.
Okay,
By closing
sure.
that, share again.
Okay.
Then it will work. Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
And see,
Is
the
it visible?
presentation slide is there.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Drag and drop that presentation slide to outside, so that you can move by Alt tab, right? So it will be
Okay.
like
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Then it will go on full screen.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So now DevTools is visible.
Yes, yes.
Uh, Thank you for confirming. So here these are the elements here. So that I was saying about that. And like when you are selecting this Google, and you can see that we have this HTML here. So whenever I will try to click on delete, so you can see that now that is gone. So this is because this is a whole document object model is there, and we can also select any element. Like if we have this, let's select any class. So when I'm going to select this class here, so just copy this, and when I will try to go here and let's select this class. Don't worry about it. In the upcoming events, you will also get to know about this JavaScript. So like here, I'm going to select any class. Because you will also get to know about these classes. So you can see that now we have selected this element here. And in the element, you can see the same two classes. So where you can see these here. So these are, we have two same classes. And then we have the style here. And you can see also here with the help of document object model, we have extracted that div element from there. So that's why browser only understand HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So that's why we need HTML to learn about that. Okay, so now let's move forward and let's start with the HTML. And yes, that's great. HTML is the hypertext markup language, and it is also used for the structuring of the web. So that's great, right answer. So here PPT is not visible. Now is the PPT visible? Yeah. Okay. So this HTML is hypertext markup language. So this is made with the markup language here. So markup language is used to create the structure. And here we have the hypertext. So we have the hypertext because we have the tags here. So that's why it is a hypertext here. And then what is HTML? HTML is a standard markup language for creating the web pages. And we, as you said, we define the structure for the web page. So this defines the basic structure for the web page. And then it is a, so because in the document of object model, we have the elements, and elements are known as tags. So we have of the elements to create the full web page. And then HTML also tell the browser like how to display the content as it defines the structure. So it also define that how to display the content to the browser. Now let's move forward here. So here, first of all, we need to know about the element here. So as in the previous slide, I have defined what is an, I defined like it is a series of element. So now we have to know about the element here. So element is known as the tag. So it is known as tag, and tag is written as like this. So first we write the tag name, and then this is a content, and then we write the tag name. So this is just a syntax here. And basically examples, you can see that. So this is a paragraph tag, that is p tag, and then this is h1 tag. So these are examples. So h1 tag is the largest heading. Now let's move forward here, and first of all, let's see what type of tags we have. Then we will move towards every tag here, so that we will see about the all type of tags. So there are two types of tag: container tags and empty tags. And container tags are also divided into two. So that is block level and inline level. So first of all, what is a container tag? So container tag is a tag which end with this slash, means which need a closing tag. And then empty tags are those which don't need any closing tag, and these are self-closing. Example you can see here, that is a div element is there. So that is a container tag because it is having the closing tag. There is an empty tag here, so that is image tag is an empty tag because it is not having closing tag, it is a self-closing tag. And these are the attributes here. So source is the attribute, so we will learn about the attributes also. And this is a path of the image, so we will learn about the file paths also in this session. So now about the block level and inline level. So block level and inline level, we have two things here. So block level means it will capture the all the page, means it will capture all the page. So whenever we will define the second element, then it will second element will come below the first element. Whereas the inline one, it will come in the inline position and it will not cover the whole page. So do you guys understand about this? Yeah, that's great. So let's move forward here. So now let's see the structure of the HTML. So first, this is a doc type HTML. So for the HTML5, we need to define this and we need to tell the browser like we are using the HTML5. And then main tag, we have the HTML tags, and within the HTML, we write everything. And HTML is having two child tags. So that is head tag and a body tag. So in the head tag, we define the metadata such as title, and for the SEO purpose, we define the metadata like keywords and many other things like description of the website, its chart set. So what type of chart set is there? And then for the body, the visual content, we write in the body tag only here. So you can see that in that there is one H1 tag and there is one paragraph tag. So this is a basic structure of HTML document. Now we will explain this structure by means we will get to know about each tag. So first of all, we have to know about the attributes. So as we know about what is a tag, now we have to know about the attributes. So what is an attribute? So attribute provides us the additional information about the tag. Like you can see that here. So we have the tag name, and then it is here is a attribute name. So it provides the additional information so that according to this attribute, our structure will change, or like this will behave like that attribute. So that will depend upon the attribute, like which attribute is the example. You can see that P align is the attribute, and this is a center is its value. You can see that it is a key value pair, align to the center. So this will align this paragraph content to the center here. As paragraph is a block level element here, so it will align the content to the center. Now let's move forward and let's know about the headings. So there are mainly 6 type of headings here. So these headings we mostly use to write the titles and the subtitles, and it is also a block element because it covers whole line here. Whenever the second element we are writing, so it will come below this H1 tag, heading tag. So there are 6 type of headings, H1 to H6. H1 is the largest and H6 is the smallest. But the best feature is that the text will be always bold because we write titles and subtitles here. So that's why text is always bold for this one. So you can see the example here, like H1 is there, and this is heading 1, largest heading, and this is the largest heading. So this is a content here. And you can see the example here. And this is a heading 1, that is the largest, then heading 2, heading 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can see that every heading is bold here. So this was about the heading. Now let's move forward about the paragraph. So what is a paragraph? So paragraph, as the name defines, it is used to define the paragraph, and it with the P and ending with also a P. So P element name defines the paragraph. So it always starts from a new line because it is also a block level element. So that's why it's always start from a new line. And then it automatically have white spaces. So on the top and on the bottom, it automatically have white spaces here. So you can say that some padding is there by default. And then this is an example here for the paragraph. And you can see how the paragraph look like. So you can see that there is a space here, and it always start from a new line. And this is a block level element because it cover all the area. So width 100% it covers. We have 3 paragraphs here, and you can see the spaces as well. So now the formatting elements are there. So these formatting elements are actually used to make special type of text. So you can see the elements like B is there. So B is to create a bold text, and strong also create a bold text, but it mostly recognized as the important text. And then with the help of 5, we can create italic text. Then these are the some elements here, so that you can read from here also. So like I is the em is the mark is the small is used to create a smaller element, and then that is to create a deleted text, and superscript is there, subscript is there, so we can create a superscript and we can create a subscript. So these when we need we need to write some formula, so we can use the superscript as well as we can use the subscript. So these are used to format and to create a special effects on the web page. So example is there for the bold, so it will create a bold text. So you can see the example here. So this is the output and this is a code. So first of all, there is a HTML basic structure, and in the body we have this paragraph and then with bold text. So this text is bold, and you can see that this is a bold text and this is italic one. And then here you can see that this is one is a paragraph, and then this is, and we are starting this subscript from this one. Like only subscript text is there, so that will be under the subscript. Like we are starting the tag from here, and then we have something element here, you can see that content here, and then we are closing after this one line. So only this thing will go to the subscript. So because we have closed here, so that's why it is necessary that we should close the container tags so that there should not be, as HTML will not give you the error. HTML will not give you the error, but it will change the text elements. Like if I'm not closing this sub tag here, I'm closing this sub tag after this. So this will make everything this to the subscript, and this will also come to the superscript because we have superscript written here. So that's why it is necessary that at right place we should close the tag here. Now let's move forward here, and let me tell you that this HTML is not case sensitive language. So you can write anything in the capital letter as well as in the small. So now how to create a link, hyperlink, and the comment in the HTML. So for the commands actually we are needed to create the means we have to write something here about the code. So that's why for that we need a comment. So as you know about C and C++, so there you also know that like why we need a command here to explain the code. So here we write the comment as like this. So it is our anchor bracket is there, and then exclamation mark is there. Then we need these some dashes, so 2 or 3 dashes, and then there we have, this is a command, and then after closing with the dashes, and then we have to write the anchor tag. So you can see the example here. So this one is a commenter tag, and you will see the code and with the output as well. So here, what is a link here? So link is actually used to add the hyperlinks here. So whenever you will see the web page, any web page, like you can see our this web page in which event is there. So you can see the pinned command. In the pinned command, there is, so this is a hyperlink here. So how we can create this hyperlink? Now we are going to see that. So that hyperlink is made with the help of a tag. So it is known as anchor tag. ANCHOR, anchor tag. So it is used to create a hyperlink. So this is example here. So we have the anchor tag, and to define the link here, we need href attribute. So that is h reference attribute is there. So we have to create that. It is known as hyperlink reference, like this. And then HTTPS, our website name, or you can mention your HTML file as well. And this HTML file extension will be like .html or .htm. So you can define like that, index.html or index.htm. So now when you will define that element, means that file name, so instead of going to the website link, it will go to that web page. So here we have this YouTube here, and when the user will click on the YouTube link, so it will get rendered to the YouTube on the same page. So here you can see the code here and the output. So we have the first anchor tag is h1 tag is there, and then you can see the example of comment as well. So we have commented the code here. Only we have the first link here. So we have only first link, and second is commented, so that is not showing. So here you can see the anchor is there. Actually reference we have google.com, and here you can see that we have the hyperlink type of thing. So whenever user will click here, so it will get rendered to the google.com in the same page. So if you don't want to render this in the same page, then you can add the target here. So I'm writing here in the command. So you can write target. So you can see this from the W3 school as well. So if you want to know about tags and attributes more, so you can see there as well. So here I'm writing here. So that is target blank. So you can mention this attribute. Then it will go to the, it will open the new tab, and then it will go to the new tab, render that website to the new tab, and it will not open the website in the same page. So now let's move forward here and let's know about images. So how we can insert the image in the HTML. So image is very necessary for the web page. Like it give users interaction, and it attract the users. And when we are posting, like example, you can see that you are a photographer, and you have created the photography website. So you can post the images, your photographs there, so that user can see your photographs, see your work, and it will hire you from there as well. So it means a user will find attractive to the website. So here it is also used to improve the design, as you are mentioning the images there. So it is also improving the design here. So you can create the image. So there is a img tag. So img tag is there. So we with the help of that we can add the image. So there is example, you can see that we have the image img tag, and it is a self-closing tag, and self-closing tag is there. So this means that it is an inline element. So it is an inline element as well as it is a empty tag. So here you can see that we have the source here. So we have the source attribute is there. So we have to mention that if you want to add the image, and then there is one alt attribute. So this alt attribute is known as alternate text. So alternate text, why we need this? whenever like you have the image in your folder, in your same website folder, and you are writing the image. So by mistake, you have deleted that, or like if you are posting this to a server, so which is restarting every time. So like you can take the example of Heroku. So on the Heroku, when you will upload the file there, so upload the website there. So every time means after I think every 24 hours, it is restarting the dyno and it will delete all your images. So that's why if the image is not there, then it will show the alternate text. So what is this image about? So that's why we need this alternate text here. So here image.png is in the same folder. So where your HTML file is there. So that's why image.png is there here. We will know about this file paths later. So we have two types of file paths, that is relative and absolute. So we will get to know about that in the upcoming slides also. So now you can see, the example. So we have S2 tag here, and then we have paragraph tag, and you can see the output here as well. Then we have the image tag. So now there is one thing here. So you can add the page means image from the local, as well as you can add the image from the web page. So here you can see that we have the web link here. So web link with .png extension means whenever you will see copy this link and paste this link here. So as this is the image, so I can't copy that. So when you will paste it here, so this will show this image. So this means that it is giving the GET request there to the server. You will get to know about the GET request, post request also when we are going to know about the forms, and in the upcoming videos also as well, like events of and Angular. So you will get to know about that from there as well. And here we have this image link here. So it will just download the image from this link only. And you can see that we have the image. And here we have the alternate text, like if this image is deleted from the server. So if it is deleted from the server, then it will show you GDSC LPU logo text only instead of the image. Now here why we need width and height. So there is you can set the width and also a height of the image using width and height attributes. So if you have the image of 1920 into 1080 pixel, but you don't want like that. So whenever add this width and height, so it will show the full image. So it will show the full image. So that's why it will not make your web page attractive. So if you want to set the height, particular height and particular width, so you can use this width and height attribute here. So it is by default in the pixel. So that is 460. You should mention only 460. So it will take it as 460 pixel. And then height 345. This means that height is 345 pixel. So this is a width here. So width is 460 pixel and height is 345 pixel. So this is a benefit of image tag. And you can see more attributes of the image tag from the internet. This we have the less time, so that's why I can't cover everything. You should know about the basics first. So now the most important thing is tables. So we also need the tables, like if you want to show the data in the tabular form, and this table allow us the data to add in the row and columns. So in the tabular form, we can show the data with the help of table. Table consists of the table cells, and we can define the table with the help of table tag. So table tag is there. So this is a container tag. So this is used as a container to create a table, but only by writing the table, it will not generate you the rows and columns. So to generate that, tr tag is there. So tr tag means table row. So it will generate the row for you. So we have to, this is also a container tag for the td. So because there will be a hierarchy, first of all we will be having table, then tr, then td. So you will get to know about that in the next slide. There will be a code as well as output here. And then we generate the table row. Then we need to create a cells. So we need to create the cells. So as we have generated the row, so we have to create the cells. So cells will be in the columns. So that's why we have the TD tag, that is table data. As well, we have the TH tag as well. So if you want to define the heading of the table, so table heading you have to define in the cell. So for that we have TS tag also there. So instead of TD tag, you can also use TS tag. So here you can see the table example here. So that is table. Then we have the attribute border. So there are many attributes for the table as well. So but border is very necessary. So like we have the border 1, and you can create the border 0 as well. And you can create how much border you want. And there are many attributes like there is a cell spacing, cell padding, and many type of these attributes are there. For the TR, we have attributes, row span, col span. So you can see these type of attributes from the internet there. Now, here we have the table data. So that is, this is a table cell, and we have written the TD here. So this will create only one cell. So now we have the table. So in the table, we have one row. So because we have used one TR, and under that table row, we have one table cell. So this table will contain only one table cell. So here, this is example. So is it visible? Code is visible to all of you? Okay, that's great. So here you can see that we have the body tag, and in that we have S2 first. And now we are defining the table. First of all, we have the root element as a table, and we have the border 1, and you can see that we have the border as 1 here. So we have the border for table as well. We have the border for cells as well. And then we are using the TR. Now you can see that TH instead of TD. So now we have used TD here. So you can see that this is the first row, this is second row, and this is third row. This one is first, second, and third row. And in the first row, we have used TH only. To create first, second, and third cell, we have used TH. And here you can see that we have the bold text. So this means that this is a table heading. So you can use table heading. So if you want to represent your headings on the table like this, then we have the TD tag, and you can see the difference between TD and TH. TD is having the bold text, but TH is not having the bold text. So here we have the TD tag, that is second for the second row. So email and this thing. And then this is the example of table. Now let's move forward here. So here we need the list. We need to know about the list as well. So how we can create the list here? So list is used to group the related items. Like you can see that there is a navigation is also there. So there is a navigation, or like we want to list some points. So for that we need the list here. So here it is used to group the related items in the set. So there are two types of basically there are three types of HTML list. So we will also know about the third type in the next slides. Basically we have two types. So that is ordered and unordered. So ordered is used to create the ordered list, that is a OL tag, and unordered is used to create the unordered list. So I will tell you the difference between ordered and unordered here. So you can see the here tags here first of all. So UL means unordered list and OL means ordered list, and this is a container tag. So because it is having a closing tag here, and then LI is the list item. So if we want to define the item for the list, so these are the container here. So this will tell you the browser that this is the unordered list, but you want to add the item as well in that list. So for that we need the LI tag. So that is list item tag. So this is example here. So we are taking the example of UL, that is type So this is the attribute here. So that is a major attribute. So by default, the type will be disk. So here you can change the type to show the, instead of bullets, you can show the squares as well. And then we have the list item, that is item 1, and we have item 2. So in the order list, we have 2 items. Now you can see the example here. So you can see the difference as well. So this is the unordered list and this is order list. So order list is having some order. So that is, it can be ABC, or here can be alphabets, here can be numbers, here can be Roman numbers as well. So this is creating the order. So that is a order list. And here we will be having some bullet points, some square, or we will be having ellipses here. So that's why this is known as unordered list, because this is not having any particular order. So this is just to show in the bullet points. So if you want to do the numbering or anything, so for there we need the ordered list. So here you can see the example with code for the unordered list. Here you can see that we have the body tag and then s2 tag is there, and we have the ul type is equals to square, and li is there. So you can see that we have means ul will tell the browser that it is the unordered, and then we have the type attribute as square, and you can see that we have the squares instead of disk here. So previously you can see that we have the circles here, and then now we don't have the circles because we have mentioned the type as a square here. So here is a L1, so that is a list item. So that is first list item, that is coffee, then tea, milk, and so on. So you can nested those as well. So like if there is one li tag, then in the li tag you can create another unordered list or order list as well instead of this content. Instead of this milk tags, you can create another order list as well. So here, this is example of order list. So that is OL is there. So we have the attributes here as well. We can type like A also is here. So this will create ABC instead of 1, 2, 3. And we can also have the attribute of as a start. So from where we have to start. So like if our type is equals to 1, so this means that our type is number. So where we want to start? We want to start from 3, we want to start from 5. So we can also mention that is start is equals to 5. So it will start the numbering from 5 instead of 1. And then the same thing is there, that is li. So it will create a one order. So this is example of order list. Now we have the description list. So this is the third type of the list. So this is basically used to describe the terms, means the list that we are writing. So for the description of that, we will use this. And it can it contains these tags here. So that is DL tag. So this is a container tag, that is root element for the description list. So this means that description list. And then DT tag is there. So we define the term, means which term we have to write. You can say that this is the item here, and then that is the description term, and then DT tag is there to define that item, so that we have created with the help of DT tag. So you will see the example here with the code and output as well. So here you can see the example. There we have DL tag, that is description list, DT tag, that is description term is there. So for description term, item 1, and we are using DD here. So that is description. Description means it's description here, description of the term. Then we have this item 1 description. So you can see the output here. Here we have S2 tag, and here we have DL tag. So that is a description list. And you can see that this is a root element, and this is a description term. So here we have defined the term as HTML. So it is showing like that. And we have the description of the HTML like hypertext markup language. And you can see the difference between DT and DD here. So that is HTML, hypertext markup language, and for the CSS cascading slide sheets. These two will be connected here. So this is the description of this one, and this is a description of this one. So this is these are the list examples of list here. Now the most important concept is between class and ID attribute. So because this is must known, because we always apply the classes to the HTML elements and IDs to the HTML elements in order to interact with CSS as well as JavaScript here. So as you can recall in the previous example, when the dev tools, and there I have written a script there. So there I have written the script and I have used document.query element and dot and its class name. So that's why we need the classes to know about which element is this and how to extract that element from the DOM element. So here the classes used to define the classes for the HTML element. So that we already know. And then classes can be used by CSS as well as by JavaScript. So this is an example of class here. So we have the div element and then we have the class attribute here, and this is a test class. So test class you can write any type of class here, but there is one thing to mention. We can have multiple classes, but ID should be one. So because every element should have unique ID, like it is defining like this, you can see that whenever you are registering anywhere, so you are registering anywhere, you have generated another ID, means every is different. Like if you're generating the rooms for the Google Meet as well, so every time Google Meet is generating the new ID for the room. So that's why ID is always different and it should be always unique to difference between the elements. Like if we have the div element with ID test class and we have the second div element with ID test class 2. So now our browser know that we have two different elements. So div means div with ID test class is different, with test class 2 is different. So if we are writing ID as test class and test class for both, so our browser will not recognize. So it will means think that this element is same, both elements are same. So now this is most known concept. So that is most important concept is there. So classes, we can have many classes for one particular element, but ID should be one only. ID should be one and unique. So we have the same concept, like ID should be unique and then it can be used by CSS as well as JavaScript. Now there is a difference between ID and class as well. Like always ID has the most priority. So you can see in the next example here. So this is a class example. So you can see that we have these div elements. So one with class city, and 3 is having class city, but one is having class city2 and another one is having only class city2. So one element is having two classes, but other elements are having only one class. So here we have defined the style tag. So forget about this for the style tag. So this we will see in the CSS event for the style tag. Just to know the difference between class and classes and IDs. So I have created this, and to tell you how to write the class and what is the benefit of the class, I have used this. So here we have the city, and you can see that we have the city class. So it is targeting this, and this element. So these three elements it is targeting, and we have the background color tomato and color white. So color white and background we have tomato, but we don't have tomato color for third one. We have city tag, city class here, but it is not converting to the tomato color. So why it is not converting to tomato color? So this is because we have the second class, that is city2, and we have the CSS for that class below the first class. So it will override that. So it will override the things from this class. So that's why we have the green color. And for the second one, we have only city2 class. So that's why we have the green color here. So now if I will make this city2 class above the city class, then it will override the city class thing, and we will be having the France as background color as tomato. So you will get to know about the difference between this. So just don't worry about that. You will get to know about this full CSS in the next event. And now let's move ID. So here there is a difference between ID and class as well. So here you can see that we have the class city ID is there, and for 3 we have the same class as city, and for city2 is also there. We have the class, but we have the ID as city2 and city for both. So means we have different IDs here. Now you can see that I have used class as first of all I have used ID as city and city2. So I have written comma here because it will run the same CSS for both the classes. So for the city as well as for the city2. So now for the city2 we have the background color green. So actually it is not recognizing overriding this city2 because we have dot city class here. So it is overriding this city class. Now you can see that I have written dot city below the ID here. So below the ID CSS code, I have written dot city here, but it is not overwriting. So we have the first element class as city. It is not overwriting. So this is because ID is having the most priority. We have used the ID to make the color as green. So that's why it will not recognize any other class. Only ID will be having the more priority than class. So that's why it is not overwriting the CSS for that one. Don't worry about this CSS. You will get to know about this in the next event. So just if you have understood the difference between ID and class, let me know in the comment section. Okay, that's great. So let's move forward as we have less time. So let's move forward here. So now we have the iframe. So we can also define the iframes. So if you want to create a web page within a, you have to display a web page within a web page. So for that you can use iframe. Frames known as inline frames, and this is a syntax here. So that is iframe, and we have the source attribute, source title. So these two attributes are must. So in the source we have to define like which page we have to render, and then you can also render the image here as well. And then there is a title attribute. So here we define the title of this iframe, and this syntax is used to create the iframe. So we can provide any URL in the source attribute, like we can define any website URL as well. So it will render that website. So like if you are writing the website for LPU, .lpu.in, so it will render that LPU website in a particular iframe in your web page. So to target any frame, you can use target attribute. So target attribute is there. So like with the help of anchor tag, so you will get to know about that in the next slide. And then to use the target attributes, first of all, you must specify the name attribute to the iframe tag. So target attribute, as I have already added in the comment section, like target blank. So you can mention the iframe name there. So where you want to target. So if you don't want to target in the new tab, so you can write name for this iframe, and in the anchor tag you can target as the name of that iframe. So it will open that hyperlink web page to that iframe only. It will not create any. It will not open any another web page. So blank is the, I mean, it is a, you can see that syntax here, or you can see that it is a syntax only. So using this keyword only, it will open in the new tab. So here, this is example here. So here you can see that we have the iframe. So this is just a heading and paragraph, and we have the iframe, and here we have the HTML file here. So in the source attribute, we have mentioned the HTML5, and this HTML5 is displaying here. Now you can set height and width as well. Height as 200 pixel and width as 300 pixel. So you can see that height has 200 pixel and width has 300 pixel. Then you can mention a title, that is iframe example as well here. So now let's move forward. So this title, what will do? So when you will hover on this one iframe, so it will show this title as iframe example. So whenever like you are, you can see here, like here in this website there is nothing as a title. So like whenever you will hover anything on this one, so it will just show you the title like in as a pop-up there, like this iframe example as a text. So I hope you know about that. Like whenever you hover anywhere, you get the title. Like you hover on the mute button in the my class. So in the my class, you get the title as like this is mute or unmute or mic. So like this title you get. So but that title is written with CSS here. So like for the Windows type of title you get there. Then this is the also most important concept, that is file paths. So how why we need the file paths here, why we have to understand about the file path. So actually file path describe the location of your file. So it describes where your file is there, and then we can access CSS file, image file, video file, JavaScript, or any type of file. It can be PDF, it can be any 3D file. So we can use the file path to access that file here. So we have two type of paths, that is absolute and a relative path. So first of all, path examples you can see here. So I will explain this absolute path and relative path also. So here you can see that we have the source, that is picture.jpg, and then images. So these all are our relative paths. So these all are our relative paths because it is in our particular folder here. It is not having the full address. So you can see the description here. This picture.jpg is located in the same folder, and if images / picture.jpg is there, so it is located in the images folder, and same this one. So it is this / means it will go to the root folder, and in the root folder there is an images folder. So under that folder there we have picture.jpg, and then // means we are going one level up. So means we are going one folder, means going to the parent, outside the parent folder, and there we have the picture.jpg. From the current folder we are going level up, and there we have our picture.jpg here. And then here we have the path example here. So you can see the two paths here. So this one is our relative path. So like you can have any bablink, or you can start from C / like from the C drive there is a whole link. So that is our full path here. So sorry, this one is the relative path and this one is the absolute path. Sorry for that. So here we are using the absolute path here. So these all are absolute path, and this whole path will be the relative path. So that is a full URL file path. So here now we have the head element. We have to know about the head element because this is a means HTML child element. So from the two child elements, it is the first child element, that is head element, and second one is body. So why we need the head element? So we need head elements to add the metadata or the information about the website. So what the website is about, and then we have the title. So we can write the title of the web page, and you can see also in the tab here. So you can see the tab here. So here we have the title of the web page. So we can write this type of title here, and also you can see the image. So we can also mention the favicon icon with the in the head tag. So this is all about the information, and we can also write the style tag as you have seen in the previous slides. The style tag here. So we have the style tag is under the head only. And then we can mention information of that using meta tag. So in the meta tag, we can mention the char set, and as well as char set is a character set. And then we can also mention the things like keywords for this website and informative description about this website and more. We can link to the style sheets. We can also link to the JavaScript as well. We can write JavaScript in the head tag as well, and many things we can do. So this is just to mention the information about the website. So this is example of the head element. So like here the character set. So this is used to tell the browser like it is using UTF-8 character set. So that is ASCII type of that. And then there is a name description we have defined. So what is the description of the website and keywords? So keywords we need for the SEO. So that is search engine optimization. I hope you have heard about that, search engine optimization. So, and then author, who is the author of website, and then this viewport is used for the responsiveness. So this is mostly used to check the responsiveness. So like if you want to create the responsive website with the help of CSS, there we need to add the viewport for the Chrome, so that our browser should understand like this website is a responsive website and it will work on the every type of website. So we need that also. So whenever we are going for the CSS, then we will get to know about this. So let's move forward, and we have to know about the layout elements here. So why we need the layout elements? So layout elements are, you can say that semantic elements, and it define the elements. So it define the elements. So whenever we create the layouts, so means you can see that it is a header. Now with the name of the tag, we know that this is a header. So this header tag must use to define the header for the website. And then nav tag is there. So this is used to create a navigation. So that's why we have the nav tag. So these tags are there. So you can see about these tags as well. So these are the semantic elements. So now what are the semantic elements? So we have to define that. So semantic elements, you can see that these are the layouts elements, and semantic elements are the elements with the meaning. So as you can see here, header is having the meaning here. So this means that this is used to define the header for the web page. And then we have div and span. So these are non-semantic. These are container elements, but these are non-semantic because these have not any meaning. So these are just used to create the used as a containers. And span is just used to create the text. Like mostly we use like we have one paragraph tag. In the paragraph tag, we have to create one text. Text as a bold, or we have to change the color of that text. So then we can use this span tag to change that text to particular text. So this is not having any meaning. So just these are non-semantic elements here. So now let's move forward, and that is HTML forms. So this is the most important concept. So we use HTML forms to collect the user input. So you have seen many types of forms in the many websites. So like whenever you are going for the placement and there is a Google Docs, so Google Doc is also having the form. So it is collecting the user input, user data, and it's sent to the Google server. And there from the Google server, it collects the data in the spreadsheet. So from the spreadsheet, we extract the data and we can create any type of visualization for that. And then there is a form. With the help of form tag, we can define the HTML form, and it is a container tag, and we have the elements like text, checkbox, numbers, and many more. So this is a form syntax, and this is action attribute. So action attribute defines that where our data will go. So if we will define as www.google.com, so it will send the data to the Google, but Google is because Google will not accept the data because it is very secure. So that's why we should define our server here. So where should it go? So we have the PHP file. So it can go to the PHP file here, and from the PHP file, we can read all the data, or we can send the data to the Node.js as well. So we can do with the help of any HTTP request, we can do that. So that you will get to know about in the next upcoming sessions. So these are the labels here. So labels, to define the labels. So these are some elements for the input. So like input is the most element here, important element. So we have the type. So we can write type as text, number, checkbox, and you can see many types in the W3 schools as well. So there in that one website, much good description is written there about that, so you can see there as well. As we have less time, so that's why I'm not going to explain every attribute of that. So here we have the type as text. So this means that this will create a text box, and by default our input tag will be text. Then we are defining the ID and name. Name is also there. So same like iframe, it is having the name for the input. So this we need for like PHP and for everything. Like if we want to send the data with the to the PHP, then we need the name. We have to write the name here. So this is because name is necessary that, so with the help of name only it can identify which input tag is there. So otherwise, if you want to go with the JavaScript, you can also access it with ID or class name as well. And then we can define the value. Then there are some event handlers also. So that we can see about in the JavaScript event. So there we should there we will know about the event handlers. So we have event like on change event is there, and then many other event is there, on press, on press of button, on mouse move, on mouse over, on focus, on blur. So we have these type of event handlers. So that we will see in the upcoming events. So this is the output of the HTML form. So you can see that we have the first name, text is there, and we have the submit button, as we have the type as submit and value as a submit also. So it is showing the submit here. So it will submit the form and it will send the data to the action page.php file. Now these are the types of input elements here. So you can see about these in the text in the internet, or you can see that we have the text, radio, checkbox, submit button, and these type of inputs we have. So these are only defined under the type. So here we have the examples here. So for the types, so here we have many types like button, checkbox, color, date, daytime, local, email, file, hidden image, month, number, and password. So here we have the HTML types example. So you can see that we have the text here. So this is the same example here. So we have the input type as text. So this defines the one line text input. So it will be having the radio box. So it will create the radio box here instead of the text here. So if type will be radio, so it will create that radio box here. So now we have the form attribute for the HTML as well. So like if we are not creating this input tag under this form container, but we are creating this tag outside the form due to any circumstance or due to any issue, like due to any CSS or due to any constraint, then you can also define the ID for the form here, and then you can define form as form name here. Form is equal to form name. So this means that this input is also an element of this form. So you can use this like this as well as, so if you have any type of constraint here. So this means that this input tag represents this form. So now let's move forward. So we have many type of form elements like input is there, label, select, text area is there, button is there. So you can get to know about these elements on your own, because I can't describe everything you hear. So you have to know about this also on your own. Then there is a topic of HTML graphics. So how we can create the graphics here. So we have only two tags, that is canvas and SVG. So this canvas is mostly used with the, means it is mainly used with the help of JavaScript only. So this is just to create the graphics here. So as when you will go to my channel, so there you can see the video about the whiteboard is there. So whiteboard is also created in the canvas. So we use that with the help of canvas JavaScript only to create the canvas here, means to create the graphics in the canvas. Then we have the SVG image, and you know about the SVG. I think you know about the SVG here. So SVG is vector graphics. So scalable vector graphics are there. So that don't means that are vector graphics, means that do not pixelate. So you can define with the help of SVG tag like this. So you can know about this SVG tag more, because I'm not going to explain it more. So when we are going to create the project, so then we will define this, we will use this SVG example here. So So this is example. Now the most important is media. So how we can add the media. So we can add sound, video, animations, and more things, as well as on the web with the help of HTML media. So we can add video as well. So video tag is there, then width and height for the video, and control attribute is there. So if controls attribute is there, so this means that we can show the controls, means control will be shown, otherwise not. Then we have the source tag. So we will define the source, means in the source tag, video is a container tag, and there is a source tag. In the source tag, we will define the our media. So that is the, as we are using video, so it will be MP4, it will be MPEG, and these type of extension will be there for videos. And you can also define the source tag here as well in the video, so you can use that as well. So but this is a basic syntax, and same for the audio. So for the audio we have the same syntax, but extensions will be only audio type. So now let's move forward here. The media example. So that is object. So this is used to show any HTML tag, like instead of iframes, if you want to show with the graphics here, so you can use the object tag to show the any HTML page, any HTML data here. So like we have the object, width is equal to 100%, height is equal to 500 pixel, and then data, in the data attribute we have mentioned the HTML image, HTML here. So you can also embed any other thing like image also here in this object tag. So this means that this is defining a object. So now let's move forward here. So here we have the iframe as well. So you can see that you can embed the YouTube video as well. So like when you will go to the YouTube, right click there, and there you will copy as a means iframe when you will click, or copy as an embed code. So there you will get this whole code. So that will be, width will be there, particular height will be there, and the source of that YouTube video, and it will be having this embed. So this is coming from the embed route from the YouTube server. So it is giving the GET request from there only. So that's why it is provided by the YouTube only. So that's why we have this embed tag. We can embed the YouTube videos in the iframe as well. So now what is the, so these are the concepts mostly used with the JavaScript, and these are the HTML5 concepts. So we have the HTML API such as geolocation, drag and drop, and server side event is there. And then we have the web storage like local storage, session storage, and then web workers. We have web workers we use to do the thing in the background. So here, this is an example of the SSE. So that is server side event. So we are creating the any event. So this is a server, that is our PHP file. And whenever there is a message from the PHP file, this is mostly used to create the notifications. So whenever there is a message from that PHP file, then we create the event, and without refreshing the page, it will give us the data here. So we can use SSE also here. And then this is also SSE example. So you can see that this is some JavaScript code, and we are embedding that thing. You can see that time is coming from this demo sse.php file, and it is coming real time, coming in a real time after every 3 seconds, you can see. So after every 3 or 4 seconds, it is giving the updates without refreshing any page. So this is the benefit of this HTML APIs. So I think it is over. So Suraj, I hope you have understood about this HTML here. So these were the concepts about the HTML from basic to advanced. So you can see more on the W3 schools as well, because their description is very good, and you will get to know. So, but the most important thing is to create the projects. So projects are must, and practice makes man perfect, that you know. So if you have any question, you can ask. Suraj, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You can just proceed with the next slide.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I hope I hope everyone got the context of HTML, like from basic to advanced, right? And in upcoming days, we will be continuing till 30. All the session will be planned very soon. Like tomorrow will be CSS, then JS, then API, some kind of thing. And later on, we will be covering Angular as well, and implementing more over it. We will be covering Firebase as well. So I will suggest you all to stay connected with us on social medias and all the channels you are connected with. And till then, just enjoy your day, and we will be meeting very soon, like most probably tomorrow for CSS and same timing. Or if you have any requests, like if you want some early or any timing changes, so let me know for that as well, so that we can plan that event accordingly. Else till 30 we have continuous session lined up, so stay connected for that as well. Yeah. And if you have any queries for today's session, you can just put in there, and it's for a few minutes, and then we will wrap up the session, because we are on time, and we can take few questions, and then we can proceed. Yeah. If you have any question related to GDSC, other events, what we are going to do, everything is quite welcome. For I hope those who are actively contributing in that crowdsource event, two of them got featured from LPU, and I think I can see one of them here. Naga Venkata is one. He got featured on Google Devs India channel. So still 1 week left, right? So some of you may uh, be featured on that if you are implementing over there. If you are using that QR code shared earlier, that invite code actually. So this is how something works, and we will be working on one project as well. That will be capstone project, and the deadline for that is June 10, right? May, June, yeah. So and with that we can be featured on Google Devs in channel as well, because that is a community effort project, right? So what we will be doing, we are covering HTML basics, right? And then all the concept of development, web development, like CSS, JS, Firebase for backend, and Angular, more concept like that. And then we will be summing up with all, and we will be creating one project together. You all are welcome for that, and that project will be open source. You are welcome to contribute in that, and you will get notification for that very soon, as we plan, like what we are going to create, right? So we need to decide and plan for that, but the deadline is 10 June, and we have to complete it before that. So this is how something we will be covering in coming days, and this is how the campaign will work. Um, there might be some delay from our end because I was traveling for offline event of NG India, Angular India. That's how the session got delayed. So apologies for that as well. And in the upcoming days, we will be covering all very soon. Yeah, that's all. If you have any queries, you can just ping in for now, and then we can proceed. Yeah. So for now, I'm stopping the session, and I will be addressing some questions in the chat.